Okay. Okay. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Can you just start any random game to make sure that Nesmus Champs is fixed? I don't care what level or anything, just not in the seat. Yeah, Tetris game. Yeah, shoot. We have slight Nesmus Champs issues, so we will oh, the Nesmus Champs issue is that my okay, no, the Nesmus Champs issues are basically fixed. I just had to refresh the admin patient. That's the issue. Okay, so thanks for the quick playing here. So everyone, we are ready to go. Please switch over to the correct game mode so that we can properly play. And once everyone is ready and it's confirmed by Zulu that everything is set up properly, we can start the first actual genuine match here at the Losers Round 5 CT1 stream. And apparently will take a few more seconds. Let's see. Oh, Kingsman in the chat earlier said also if you're doing double elimination CTWC Open, then you eliminate the silver and bronze tournaments and one larger. Yeah, there's a ton of logistics in doing that. That's why I was like, it's not this most straightforward. Okay, so everyone is ready. Let's start the countdown. 3, 2, 1, Tetris! We are now live. We now have now started the games. And let's make sure that everyone is gonna have a great time, is gonna have great pieces. Okay, the pieces I can't influence. Also, I can't influence the people's mood, so I guess let's make sure that... Okay, Toni's I can, but I'm like... You know, when you get awful pieces, there's nothing I can do about your mood. Sadly. Let's do the best entertainment possible here. We have the games starting. We have lots of Tetrises here in the opening scene. And I'm just looking over to make sure that everything is okay, because purple looks... okay, but all is good over there. I just want to make sure that everything is good. And we have in the chat, let's go Roccoricci, Frisian Boppy. I hope I know it's pronounced that properly. But yeah, as you can't hear, Roccoricci is quite happy about that. And he will now fight to the end against Toni. He will do everything he can to get a win, and using the most advanced controller, the NES Advantage. Yeah, point-wise, we have about a Tetris and a half lead here currently to Toni, as well as a Tetris and a half lead here to Phloxae. So Phloxae is our current only roller against Gunter, which puts at a huge advantage against Gunter, a death player. Toni and Roccoricci also both do play death here. Toni doing a bit of a misspin here of that L piece, I assume double flip, but don't know for sure. Needs to fix that right now. Oh yeah, he said rain fart. Okay, just luckily no tech issues. Luckily you can't hear what the players say on stream. Yes, so far the games are reasonably closed. The higher seeded player has a 1.5 Tetris lead here in the beginning of level 18. Toni has a bit of a troublesome field, Phloxae has a bit of a troublesome field, which should allow Gunter and Roccoricci to catch up. Okay, Roccoricci has started the catch up, and so has Gunter. The lead is now down to about a Tetris here for these players. Next Tetris is going to Roccoricci. Now Roccoricci in the lead against Toni here. And Gunter gets a bar before Phloxae can be opened up again. Phloxae putting an O piece on top, which means a few more lines burned here. Phloxae is still in the lead by just a bit here against our French player. Phloxae also set up for the Tetris here, taking a safety triple instead, and is close to opening up once again. We have Toni topping out of not getting a blue S piece over to the left and hanging one more O piece on top of that, which means that Roccoricci has a 1-0 And we have Toni at a 168 for 5 and 1, 2, 140. That means 1-0 Roccoricci. Lower match. Gunter is in a quite high situation here. Left side is tough to access and he can't get anything to where it needs to be. So Gunter also tops out here at 223 for 52, which means Phloxae does take game number 1. And it is 1-0 for both, which basically means that we can start the next game using a simul countdown once again, which, as you know, does make all of us quite happy. Let's see, if the players are ready to go, we can start the countdown. It's a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Players have just started. Perfect. So this early on, we once again have a small lead here for Toni, as well as for Gunter. Also welcome in the chat to Lucy. And yeah, let's see how the game will go. It's currently 1-0 for Roccoricci and Phloxae. Small drought happening at the top of, yeah, just 15 pieces. So barely any drought to talk about. In the bottom match, we have a bit of an tag situation here on Phloxae's side. Whereas Gunter is playing it a bit cleaner, a bit safer, and you have the next Tetris is happening. Gunter actually able to get a massive lead in. Gunter having about a 200k lead here against Violet on the left side. You have 77, 191. In the upper match, it's about a 1.5 to 2 Tetris lead here for Toni, 190 and 170. Yeah, the upper match lead is getting a bit smaller, and the lower match it's about the same still. Yeah, Gunter able to exploit Phloxae's Violet's earlier weakness. You have a few Tetrises happening. Now the lead of Toni is up to about 3, now down to about 2 Tetrises. And yeah, Gunter is still in the 4 to 5 Tetris lead here against Violet, which is really nice. You know, being this far ahead in the first half of 18 means that maybe you actually have a chance of playing it, especially as Violet is getting high, having issues to burn, right and left side inaccessible, and Violet is stepping out here at 198, which means Gunter is able to take game number 2 as, yeah, we have 191 and 340. And in the upper match, it's currently 340 against 300, so about a 40k lead, or just under 2 Tetris lead here for Toni. There's a bit of a messy board situation here also on Roccoricci's side, which may allow Toni get an even bigger lead depending on how the bar and stacking situation goes, but doesn't look like it, as the well is open. Roccoricci's side got a Tetris in, and yeah, Toni wasn't able to get more done than Roccoricci here. So if the players win here, so for example, if Toni wins against Roccoricci, he will be in the essentially top 8, as we then have 4 players in the upper bracket and then 4 players in the lower bracket remaining. So whoever wins here is gonna be in the top 8. Depending how you view it, positive or negative aspects of a double elimination. That you need to win quite a lot of matches potentially. Like if you go to the losers bracket and go to the uppers bracket, then again, oh, Phloxae in troubles. Well, I didn't expect those things here, but maybe there's a bit of a concentration issue on her side, like this last 2 games. Yeah, that's not what we expect from a pretty high-level roller here. But that means it's now 2-1 here for Gunter, and Gunter actually having match point next. So let's see if Gunter can take the match point here in this game. Like the first game by Violet, pretty decent, but the next 2 games were, 200k, 74, kinda struggling here. In the upper match, as we are just before the transition, or transitioned 559 transition here for Toni. We have Roccoricci just a few lines away from the transition. Yeah, we had 557 against now 520. So about a 37,000 point lead in the transition here for Toni, or about 1.5 Tetrises. Toni's struggling a bit in the board, needing to clean up and being a bit high, but this is still doable as a desk player. Not comfortable, but doable. Roccoricci having mispinned here off that yellow S piece, and it looks like that's gonna be it. And yeah, so we have Roccoricci stepping out, which means Toni is able to win game number 2, and we now have a 1-1 here. Looks like we have a bit of mullining here on Roccoricci, on Toni's side. Of course, feel free to do so if you think it's helping. Okay, that's it for Toni here. In the bottom match, we currently have 82 versus 80, so there's neck and neck between Violet and Gunter. Nearly the same score. Okay, now we have about a Tetris lead here for Violet. Now we have a tiny lead here for Gunter. So this neck and neck is there's less than a Tetris difference between these 2 players. So the lead should change to whoever gets the next Tetris, which in this case will be Gunter. And now Gunter in the lead of about 1,000 points. Next Tetris to Violet. So Violet just having under Tetris lead here. And the same is now to Gunter. Once again the lead. And Violet strikes back. Gunter taking a bit here to set up and needing to do a triple burn now. Either that was overshifted and he wanted to go for an LJ dependency, or he just wanted to play it a bit safer here. Simon Tetris in the upper match. If we have 69 versus 48, and Gunter just confirmed that he was trying to play safe. Two Tetris is happening at the top. We have about a Tetris lead here for Toni, and in the bottom match we have about a 3 Tetris lead here for Phloxae. Next Tetris going to Gunter, and next going to Violet again. And one more to Gunter. Okay, Violet and Gunter have played about half, no, exactly half. So we have a bit to, yeah, about mid 500 pace here for Violet, and a 450 pace for Gunter. Projection into level 19. Let's see if that will actually be the case. I'm also happy to see that Violet is able to play properly again. That means we may get a decider. Let's hope that we will be able to get a decider. And in the chat we have once again Frisian Boppe. of course, towards Roccoricci. As you can see, he's wearing like his Frisian scarf. Two more Tetris's here at the top match. Now but a 3.5 Tetris lead to Toni, as you have 215 and 141. In the bottom match, you have a 4.5 Tetris lead here to Phloxae at 408 versus 305. And of course, if you want to support the players, we do have a Matcherino. Type in !Matcherino or !M in the chat, and you can donate. I try to actually pay attention now because, like, it's tough because I need to open like the actual Matcherino page and scroll down and so on and so forth. It's not that easy, so I apologize if I don't see you, like your contribution. But it's certainly somewhat tough. But yeah, so far contributed as far as I can tell have been Sudokanat and Cousin. So thanks to them, and then a few coupons as well. Tetris is happening 273, 237, so about a 1.5 Tetris lead here for Toni. In the bottom, we have about a 5.5 Tetris lead here, close to the transition for Violet. So Violet would have to have an awful 19 for Gunter to still have a chance, simply due to how superior rolling on level 19 and obviously also 29 is when compared to using Dash. I guess compared to any other playstyle. The next Tetris, or like next double on Violet's side, does the transition at 579. Huge transition here for Violet, 579. Gunter can currently still go for 2 Tetrises, but realistically it's gonna be 1 max. Yeah, he's doing a few safety burns. Violet closed the well here, needs to burn a few lines, but is still low enough to not be in any dangers here. We have 481 transition for Gunter, so nearly 100k lead here, 98k lead in the transition for Violet. Gunter avoids closing up, but burnt down quite a lot, and now has a small hole in the stack, so definitely gonna have to burn. Next set was here going to Violet, now in 636. So the lead is increasing a bit. In the upper match, as we are now at about the 100 line mark, we are at 387 for Toni, 381 for Roccoricci. So we are neck and neck. Basically the same amount of points here for the lovely players. I can hear yes here by Toni, as we are about 20 lines away from the level 19 transition. In the bottom match, the lead is now nearly 200k. It's 210 between Roccoricci, between Phloxae and Violet. So 210,000 point DT for Violet. Yeah, unless Violet tops out like now, this is a lost game for Roccoricci. In the upper match, it's neck and neck between our Swiss player Toni and our Dutch or Frisian player Roccoricci. As we are just before the transition. The next double on Roccoricci's side does it. The next 6 lines on Toni's side will do it. Violet getting a bit high and closing the well here, but should be able to easily get something. Yeah, got the DPS easily over to the left side. So can start on the cleanup process here. Yeah, we can definitely see that Gunter's playing this game rather safe. Most likely a mindset of, if I play aggressive, I will top out anyway. So let's just take a calm and steady gameplay and hoping that just something happens to my opponent. Upper match, we have a transition into level 20 now, 516, 482. So yeah, 1.5 Tetris lead here to Toni, having a small lead, but it's still basically neck and neck. In the bottom match, we're getting closer and closer to the level 29 maximum speed screen, kill screen, however you want to call it, but Gunter having issues in the stack, not getting the pieces where they should go, and topping out at 635, 635 for Gunter. And I believe that Gunter will, Phloxae will just go for the max out here, but it doesn't. But that means you have 2-2 decider between Violet and Gunter next Yes, whoever wins the game between Toni and Roccoricci will have the match point up next. High center bar here for Toni. I can hear a few not so good words which lead to the top out after hanging the SPs, ZPs here, which means Roccoricci needs to chase down. Roccoricci needs to chase down to 6-12. The goal for Roccoricci is 6-12. If he can do that, he will win the game and have a match point up next. If he can't, that will be it. Also, congratulations to Violet to the max out. And I would say we will start the next game at the same time in a simul countdown. Because we have a decide on the match points, so it makes the most sense. But let's see what the referee does. Yeah, Roccoricci is still in the chase down. Again, you go 6-12, hanging that L piece, but tagging. Nice. Bar does fall down after 6 piece drought. Nice. Okay, so still in 1.5 Tetris's to go. About 40k points. But the Z piece burst here, getting high. Oh, but Roccoricci is doing it. Getting the O piece over. Nice. Double, single. I mean, Roccoricci can line this out, I believe. Barely. If he plays somewhat efficiently, only singles wouldn't do it. Yeah, he wants to go for a Tetris to have the win safe. This is gonna be tough for Roccoricci. The SZ piece is here, not what he wants. And early shift on that Z piece. That's a top out. And that means that Toni wins game number 3. And next up is match point for Toni. It is 2-1. Okay, in the bottom game, it's currently 116 and 80, so we have about a Tetris and a half lead here to Violet. Yeah, so Toni and Roccoricci are talking about what happened there. Yeah, just wanted to understand what happened. Does sometimes help. You know, here in the Tetris scene, yes, it's a competition, but we know each other quite well, so it's also a bit of a friendly competition. There's a question about this being the last match or not. I will double check because I do not want to give correct information. We have... No, you have up to 2 matches today. No. So you play round 6 and round 7 losers as well. Okay. Looks like the players are ready. So, no? Not? Okay. But we have Violet and Gunter here playing 261, 109. So we have about a 6.5 Tetris. 150k lead here to Violet. Massive point lead here for Violet. Gunter getting a bit higher on the right side, but is taking some safety burns in the center. Yeah, Violet is just running away when it comes to the points. Gunter may be able to catch up, but it's going to be pretty tough here. Next Tetris going to Toni, to Violet, 335. First Tetris Toni at 22. And we have Roccoricci at 3.4. Didn't adjust for the T piece and the upcoming J piece, sadly. There's also a few nice tucks happening. And Gunter's trying to set up for the next Tetris, while Violet most likely will go for the left side. Let's see. Because there's like 2 bar dependencies at time. But yeah, a bit of cleanup here once again on Violet's side. But she has over 10 Tetris leads, so this lead is just massive. Yeah, Gunter is saying he's far too tired, he's just trying to survive. Quite well. The kinda, let's say, issue is, as the main organizer, there's a lot that you need to do. So you don't get as much sleep as you'd like, oftentimes. And the upper match, it's currently 129, 108. So only about a Tetris lead here to Toni. Whereas in lower match, we have about a 200k lead to Violet. Still, Gunter was able to catch up a bit, but it's not gonna be enough to change anything here. Oh, Toni getting high, but getting the bar over. Well played. The bottom match is getting close to the transition, having a 20-piece plus drought here. Yeah, 30-piece drought now. 35-piece drought, that's tough. Gunter also not really able to put the pieces anywhere, and that's the top out, and the 3-2 for Phloxae. Gonna win. That means we have our first lower bracket top 8 member. Yeah, that's the correct way to say it. And we will switch over to the one match scene for the upper match once my dual connects test. So we will switch to just one match at a time, being now Toni versus Roccoricci. We have 226 against 242, or about 3/4 of a Tetris was lead here to Roccoricci. Yeah, the last game showed us pretty well how rough NES Tetris can be. You know, 30+ piece droughts. You don't have them in modern Tetris. Nice T-tag, by the way, here by Toni. Filling it in like the last second, then tagging it underneath. Yeah, in modern Tetris, you have like the 7 back, so these massive droughts can't happen. Whereas here in NES Tetris, you can have like a 1000 piece drought and more, just in theory. Because it's quite close to 2, 1, and 7 RNG per piece. We're now getting close to the level 19 transition. Oh, Roccoricci does skimp the Witz. No Witz here for Roccoricci, not that funny guy. But yeah, we are neck and neck. Barely any lead here. And it changes all the time. Also, Robin asking, where's Macy? Macy is currently in the winner semifinals. So he will play, I believe, tomorrow again. Macy has played earlier today and will play tomorrow at like 10. It's scheduled for... Oh wait, what? The schedule doesn't work the way that it's proposed. Okay, we have to talk... I'm not sure about the exact scheduling, but Macy is in the winner semifinals. Let's just say that. Oh, if you do like that, then it works. Yeah, maybe my bad. I may have had different expectations. But yeah, so here we have 465 for Toni, 450 for Roccoricci. Both players 2 lines away from the transition. 452 transition here for Roccoricci. 489 transition for Toni. So 37k, 1.5 Tetris lead in the transition for Toni. Quite nice. Yeah, so if Toni wins this, then this will be the last game. Also, I made a slight mistake. I looked at the schedule in not the correct way. But yeah, actually, Macy is supposed to play in the next match, so in the next few minutes. And Roccoricci has some issues in this tag that force him to top out, and that means Toni is able to go for game number 3. Win number 3 is winning.
Oh, okay. So everyone is redoing. Let's count it down once again in 3, 2, 1. Tetris for real this time. Alright, so this time we got the correct colors on the boards. Tetris is for everyone. Yeah, hi Kingsman. Yeah, I figured that was like out of nowhere. It's alright. Yeah, I mean, although I do agree for like larger tournaments like CTWC, it's kind of difficult with the disparity of skills. With DAS tournaments, it's okay, but when you got open, it's a lot different. All right, a couple of players were in trouble. All of them getting it cleaned up. Piernov with 95,061 for Dobreee. 77,000 make that 100 flat for Bergtroll with that Tetris. 59,000 for Richard trying to burn this down. Okay, no, not gonna set up. Just taking the burns. That was a double. And a nice S and J combination for the cleanup. He's gonna get Tetris ready in column 5. And get it with a well transfer. Very good. 90,000 for Richard Wolf to Bergtroll's 125 up top, 146 for Piernov to Dobree's 117. Not much to be said right now. Everyone is clean, playing well, stacking for Tetris is getting them. That was an interesting setup for a tuck on Dobree's board. Kind of aggressive, is working out, getting the pieces. Now needs a bar. Needs a bar for some relief. This board is getting high and gets a bar just in the nick of time to run it down. And another one. Right. He's going to be fine. 243 to 214 up top. Down the bottom, 205 to 145. Okay. Tricky situation for Dobreee here. Has caught up in the score, but is ahead in lines, and now has to dig a little more. Piernov gonna capitalize on that. Down the bottom, it's a larger lead for Bergtroll, about 3 Tetrises. The same amount of lines. Richard's gonna get it open. Score Tetris, breaking 200k. Exactly 211. The CT1 stream trying to be louder than us, and they're doing fine, I guess. Right, everyone is clean now. 343, sorry, for Piernov. 310 now for Dobreee. Not too far behind, but still ahead in lines by quite a bit. Bergtroll is at 334, 240 for Richard. This lead is getting larger now for Bergtroll, and a couple of misshifts for Richard Wolf. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's some like mic settings. I don't know. Also trying not to yell because the mic is pretty close to my mouth. We're just trying to be reasonable. Okay, players are nearing the transition now, past the turn from about 1 of 5 lines. And Richard is in trouble, needs to burn this down before transition. Is doing so. But the lead is getting larger and gonna have to chase it down post-transition. No easy feat for the DAS player against the roller. But it not being easy doesn't mean it's impossible, so we'll see. At the top, Dobreee also getting high, and nothing can get to the left side. Bar does not go over, so Piernov is going to take the first game up top with a 490. Down the bottom, getting close to transition. About 1 Tetris worth of lines to go before we get there. Bergtroll is going to have to burn in. There is single into transition 462. Richard Tetris is into at 313. The match at the top has been counted down. Let's focus on the bottom one for a bit. 488 for Bergtroll, 323 for Richard. At this point, Richard just wants to stay alive for as long as he can, and hope that something happens to Bergtroll and trying to get the Tetris when you can. But this board is not easy to manage, and that hang of the J piece might make it impossible. The bar does not go over, and that's a top out for Richard at 326. Bergtroll takes game number 1 at the bottom. And the players at the bottom are off for game number 2. Up top, 69,000 to 97,000. Tricky board for Dobreee right here. This could get dangerous if he doesn't get the right pieces. Is finding good burns, though. Oh, nice. Very nice adjustment for that bar that was coming. Good vision. Very good vision for Dobreee. And he's going to set up 1 row off the bottom and ready for well transfer. Beautifully played from Dobreee here. Taking the lead momentarily, but Piernov takes it right back. It's neck and neck between the two. Down the bottom, Richard has scored 2 Tetrises. Bergtroll is still digging, looking for his first one. Another situation for Dobreee. Okay, managing the board pretty nicely. Does not cover the hole and is able to burn it down. There's finally a Tetris for Bergtroll, I think. Maybe I was late on that. But yeah, 39,000 to 120 now for Richard. Pretty large lead early on, and it is a true lead. At the top, Dobreee taking burns is now set up in column 9. Piernov had a bar dependency, had to plug it with something else, and now is down stacking, not getting the best pieces, getting no J and L's. There's the L for the hole, and gets a bar for the burn. So he's gonna be safe. 205 now to 197. Okay, Piernov's left side is kind of tricky. That's good burn. Opens it back up, gets a Tetris up to 231 to Dobree's 243. Down the bottom, Richard with a pretty sizable lead. Almost 100,000 points above, yeah, more than 4 Tetrises right now. 138 to 235. So this is what Richard wants to see, because he is at a disadvantage on the 19 speeds as the DAS player, of course. So any pace lead that you can get early on is good news. Oh, doesn't get the... Okay, goes for bar in column 2 and doesn't get the S piece. Has to cover up. Very good burns, though. It was very efficient cleaning from Richard. And Dobreee, on the other hand, is going to top out at 250, which means Piernov is going to take game number 2. I was too focused on the down stack on the game at the bottom. So that's a 2-0 lead for Piernov in the match. Looking to close it out right now. Dobreee needs to stay alive and win games to stay in the tournament because this is lower bracket. So if Dobreee fails to win the next game, he will be eliminated. Down the bottom, Richard still extending his lead. 202 to 312, 335 now. And Bergtroll is digging. This is a very efficient game for Richard. A little bit of a tricky board for Piernov, not able to get an early Tetris when Dobreee was able to. Dobreee looking for that bar, gets it. Takes a Tetris. At the bottom, okay, Richard getting into a little bit of a situation. Should be fine. Would love a square to tuck. There's the square, doesn't tuck. However... Oh, and doesn't get the bar over. This could be fatal for Richard. Can he get anything over? And no, it's not going to happen. So there's a chase down for Bergtroll, who is also in trouble. You need 389, and the bar doesn't get over. And that's a top out for Bergtroll. So Richard takes the game number 2 and ties the set. Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. That's supposed to be 1. Okay. At the top. Pretty good lead for Dobreee. 109 to 44,000. Dobreee doing exactly what he needs to do to stay alive in the tournament. Players at the bottom getting started for game number 3. Everyone is clean. This is some clean play. Players at the top weathering a drought, doing so beautifully. And this lead for Dobreee now is pretty large, over 100,000 points. Has somehow managed to extend it. It takes another Tetris to break 200k before Piernov even breaks 100k. Closer start now at the bottom. Bergtroll able to get the Tetrises. And yeah, it's neck and neck. Richard's board is climbing. It's climbing, needs a bar. Okay, doesn't... Okay, good burns. Doesn't go for the left side immediately, but took the burns, got the Tetris. It's neck and neck still at the top. 100k lead for Dobreee, 152 to 259. But Dobreee is 10 lines ahead. That's the detail that I had missed. Which means the lead is not as large as it looks, but it's about 4.5 Tetrises. Down the bottom, Bergtroll back into a little bit of trouble. Richard is clean. Has to cover up the right side momentarily. He's going to open it back up with that ZJ combo. To 134. MQC. Yeah, that is me in the comms for CT2 right now. Kind of saving Tetris here, and right before I play in the winners bracket. It's At the same time, it kind of helps me with not being nervous. So I'm not thinking about my own match that's coming up. Up top, Piernov is closing the gap. Has a tricky board right now, but both players are digging. I think there could have been a Tetris setup for Dobreee, but doesn't go for it. We'll try to set up for this one. Takes a double and a triple to bring the board down. 359 to 309. So to make it 3 Tetrises for Dobreee with that dirty Tetris. And he's gonna set up again. This is very aggressive. Okay, takes the burns, knows he cannot fly too close to the sun because tournament life on the line. At the bottom, it's a 3 Tetris lead for Richard. Actually, it's 2 now. Players closing in on transition at the top. With the next Tetris or triple, Dobreee would get in. Is looking for the bar. Oh, and misdrops a nest piece to the left side. This could be bad. Okay, gets 1 Tetris. And now has to close the well, and that left side might be inaccessible for Dobreee. And is gonna top out at 417. So Piernov has a chase down, needs 418 to take the match. Is going for the line out strats, has plenty of time to do so. Oh, doesn't get the J. Okay, is getting a little dirty. This could be trouble. It's not a free chase down, of course. It never is. At the bottom, Richard extending his lead up to 3.5 Tetrises. Piernov playing, still trying to line out, trying to bring the board down, getting spammed with the square pieces. Fortunately, had a good place to put them. When it's set up for a dirty Tetris, does the bar come? No, he's going to block it off. And now the board is kind of tricky. Okay, uncovers it for the triple. Only 8,000 points to go. Is bringing the stack down. 5,000 points to go. Needs 418. Oh, misdrops a square. Wait, this could be trouble. This is so close. Needs to skim at the top of the board. Needs a J piece. Gets a J just in the nick of time and makes the chase down. And Piernov is going to take game number 3. That was very close at the end. But he's going to survive. Looking to dig. All right, let's focus on the bottom match, though, because both players have reached transition. Bergtroll is at 373, Richard at 471. Pretty sizable lead again for Richard. Going to play it a little bit safe here on level 19, trying to adapt to the speeds. And could have set up Senderwell, not going to do so, and there was no bar, so fair enough. Good decision. Is getting a little bit dirty, but should be okay. Should be able to burn it down. Bergtroll also a little bit high up, but clean on the board. And is Tetris ready. Trying to close in. Only 3 Tetrises away right now, and Richard's stack is climbing. Oh, misdrops a bar. Okay, still fine. Still fine. Can still fight this board down. Very good pieces and very good placements, of course. Is at 504, Bergtroll 428. Richard fighting this board down. Very good down stacking. Perfect gets the bar to the left side. And very good down stacking from Richard here. Bergtroll in the meantime didn't quite catch up. Couldn't use that digging from Richard to close the deficit. But is only 74,000 points away from Richard right now. 441 to, oh, actually 544. Richard extending the lead again, and is set up for another Tetris. Gets a Tetris up to 574 to 472. Richard looking to force Bergtroll to play kill screen, but hangs a bar. And does he get another one? Doesn't look like it, so a top out at 574 for Richard. And Bergtroll needs to chase this down before 29. Got 2 quick Tetrises, can pretty much line this out now. A few triples would help. And Bergtroll is triple ready, Tetris ready. The Tetris would win it right now. Boom! Chase down for Bergtroll. And takes a 2-1 lead at the match. Very good effort from Richard here, getting all the way to level 24. Players are going to get ready for game number 4. Bergtroll looking to take it right here. Richard trying to extend it to to a decider, not a reverse sweep. Here we go, game number 4. Simul openers. Differs on piece number 3. And right, let me switch over to the 2-player scene. We got 760 to 760. Dead tie here. Richard with an early Spire. Let's see what pieces he gets. Okay, decides to play it safe. Very good move. Cannot afford to lose any more games here, or this would be the end of his tournament run. Richard looking for his first Tetris, and there it is. 34,000 to 74,000 for Bergtroll. So Bergtroll now with the early lead, kind of inverting what we've been seeing in games number 2 and 3. Probably does not want to have to fight as much in the 19 speeds. Breaks 100k now. Richard taking a triple and goes Akibar. Gets another one for the Tetris. Up to 89,000. Right, tough board right now for Richard. Not too dangerous as to make him top out, but it's going to be more burns, and Bergtroll already extending the lead to a 3 Tetris lead right now. All right, doing a good job at bringing this down. Nice ZJ combo for the burn. And is bar dependent in column 3. Gonna plug it with a J. That Z will help cleaning it up. Richard sets up one row of the bottom. Doesn't go for the Tetris. And will with this next long bar. Bergtroll has a 4 Tetris lead. Board states, I would not say this is a bad board for Richard because it's only one row off the bottom. However, Bergtroll getting into a little bit of a dig right now. Is Dirty Tetris ready? Plugs the well with the J piece, plays it safe. Sorry, that was an L piece. Plays it safe. Richard also having to dig. Bergtroll is going to be alright with that next bar. Good burns here for Richard. Oh, that Z piece probably didn't go where you wanted to put it. And this is getting dire for Richard. Mischief of that bar, and nothing can get over, so that's going to be an early top out for Richard, and this is going to be the end of his tournament run. Bergtroll takes game number 4 and the set. It's finally over, Richard says. All right. So we got the match results. Let's maybe take a look at the bracket. It's looking like... Okay, has it been updated yet? No, but that means Piernov and Bergtroll are going to face off in the next match, which is going to be played tonight, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this is Sunday. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the now it's just winners semis and losers round 6. Right. That's all that's left for the day. We're going to take a little bit of a break.